What's up, basketball sickos? Deuce Mason by myself tonight. Shout out, first things first, to Morgan Reagan. I'm pointing like she's here, but she's not. For good reason. Yesterday, she was named the new color analyst for the brand new WNBA team, the Golden State Valkyries, and they had a preseason game tonight. So I'm here to talk about what went down game one, Wolves Warriors in Minnesota. Minnesota with a ton of rest after taking care of business against the Lakers. Golden State playing that 7-game series. And now Golden State has some real adversity because the headline of this one is they found a way to get game one on the road, 99-88, but they lose Steph Curry in the second quarter to a hamstring injury. And Steve Kerr says after the game, it's going to be day-to-day, but they don't expect he'll play in game two. And there's not a lot of time off in between these games really until later in the series if it went to like a game six. So probably don't expect to see Steph coming up in game two. And then it's also a hamstring injury. So we don't know, is it grade one, grade two? How long could he be out for? It's the playoffs. Guys like to push through shit, and I get that. But it's being reported that after this game, he had a noticeable limp too. He'll get treatment. They'll have an MRI tomorrow, and maybe we get a better idea. But this could be very problematic. No shit if Steph Curry can't go. So how'd they get it done tonight, dude? They did not let that deflate them. It was 27-20 when Steph left the game. And of course, he hit his last shot before he left. They didn't let it deflate them. And obviously, I think their confidence just as a team has gone up so much since the acquisition of Jimmy Butler. Like if you watch Golden State pre-Jimmy Butler versus post-Jimmy Butler, just from a pure confidence standpoint, it's just a different level of composure. And yeah, they're going to have their moments. They'll have their turnovers. But tonight, it was really impressive. They were flying around. Jimmy kind of settles you down. But then you've got Buddy Hield, who was the Game 7 hero against the Rockets. Tonight was spectacular. Again, he leads them in scoring, ends up in this game with 24 points. He also has 8 rebounds in this game and 3 assists, 5 of 8 from downtown. What can you say? This guy has been a roller coaster ride of a player. I know full well, of course, in Sacramento. But of course, in Sacramento, you miscast people. Buddy bounces around since then, right? With Indiana, had some good moments there. Really didn't find his footing at all when he got traded and landed, with the Philadelphia 76ers. And this year gets off to a super hot start. People like, who's Klay Thompson? We got Buddy then. And then he went ice cold. And there's going to be ups and downs with this guy. But I think when you're looking for Buddy, it's, all right, Buddy, we need you to be nonstop out there. And that's what he does. He runs nonstop. He can hit threes. He's competing defensively. He's doing the right things the last couple of games, and it's been massive for the Golden State Warriors. So Buddy Hield deserves a lot of credit. They do not win these last couple of games without Buddy Hield. And it's clear to me that this off-ball movement that Golden State has, which is, yes, challenging to defend, no doubt about it, is going to be problematic for Minnesota if they're not engaged. From a communication standpoint, you have to be locked in all the time. You can have the most length possible, and McDaniels does some nice things defensively, but look, man, if he's getting hung up on a screen, Golden State, their screeners get into space. They're popping out. Everyone is a threat. So it's so imperative for the communication to be there. It can't just be like, hey, we just got like one long guy that's going to lock down. Like, no, the rotations have to be there. The physicality has to be there. Buddy Hield got loose in a big way in this game, in a way that shouldn't have happened either, especially considering that this team did not have Steph Curry tonight. And for Golden State to get this lead to 23 points without Steph, it's just so impressive. And yes, Jimmy Butler helps in a big way too. Jimmy's ability to just kind of settle you down, get to the free throw line, get into the paint, kick out, play tough defense. He ends up with 20 points. He had 11 rebounds. He had 8 assists in this one and just 1 turnover. He played 41 minutes. Jimmy's just that guy. And, in the fourth quarter, when things weren't going well for Golden State, Minnesota's making a push like, oh, man, is Golden State going to collapse here? He could settle you down a little bit, too. And so Jimmy has meant everything for this game, for this team. But it felt like one of those just grinded out games for them, too, because it's not like they, blazed it tonight, right? They end up shooting in this game under 40%. They did hit 18 of 42 from three. And I think that was the other big factor, right? The 3-point discrepancy, not only Golden State hitting 18 threes in this game, when Steph only hit 3 of those. 3 of 6, okay, in his 13 minutes. God, of course, in his 13 minutes, 3 of 6, 13 points. The 3-point discrepancy, 18-5 in favor of Golden State. And then the rebounding, the plus 10 advantage for Golden State. Buddy Hield gives you 8. Come on, Minnesota. Jimmy Butler in double digits with 11. I mentioned that. Draymond had 8. Podziemski had 8. Hell, 7 offensive rebounds for Jimmy Butler in this game. You had GP2, who had 5 rebounds. He had a couple of big offensive rebounds. Looney comes in. He had some nice moments too. Playing him the last couple of games, and he's done some nice things, especially defensively. I mean, he had one play where he's checking Julius Randle, and Randle's going to go at him. Looney uses his strength, contests the shot. He's got good length. Looney gave them something tonight. That was massive for this group in a big way. And then going back to 3-point shooting, I mean, Draymond comes out and knocks down threes tonight. He takes 10 of them, and that's probably a number you live with if you're Minnesota, but he knocks down 4 threes. GP2 goes 2 for 3 from downtown. Golden State is able to hang on and win this game 1, where you go, they probably shouldn't have won this game, right? Thinking they're only up 7 when Steph leaves the game. So why did this happen? Minnesota tonight. I don't know what was going on. You could say, hey, they had too much rest. And we do this every time a team has rest. It's either like, hey, that rest really helped if they come out firing. And if they come out struggling, it's like, oh, could be a little rust. Maybe it was a little rust, but the approach also wasn't there. Like, it's one thing if you miss shots. I felt like Minnesota let their missed shots tonight, especially early, impact everything else. I think I was most disappointed by the defensive miscues tonight. Just miscommunications. You're going to focus on the fact that they shot 39%. They were 5 of 29 from 3 in this game. In fact, they started 0 for 16 from downtown. They didn't hit their first 3 until the third quarter of this game. And of course, that's going to factor into things. But there's just also moments early that were just mind-numbing defensively. Like, okay, a Jimmy Butler, Steph Curry high pick and roll situation. Randle, you cannot be playing dropped off Steph Curry and let him step into a 3. Now, the 3 was missed in that sequence, but it was an open look from Curry. And what it led to is Nickeil Alexander-Walker was also shaded toward Curry after that. And so Jimmy Butler just went straight down the middle of the paint to get a second chance opportunity. Too easy. That type of miscommunication. And then if they were getting stops or if they were forcing a turnover tonight, it felt like Minnesota, especially in that first half, that second quarter disaster, they were just awful in transition. We're talking about 3-on-1 opportunities, just throwing bad passes, making poor decisions, not taking good shots. And you're going, what is that? You talk about rust, but there's got to be a focus thing here too. I just expected this Minnesota team to come out much more engaged. I look at other plays I wrote down. Oh, in the third quarter, miscommunication between Conley and Randle leads to a basket. Then there's a play in transition where no one's picking up Buddy Hield in transition. Randle was responsible. And by the way, tough matchup, but you're in transition, you got to pick him up. Conley's pointing, hey, you pick up Buddy. He leaves Buddy to go pursue Draymond, who's standing at the top of the key. Let's be honest, make Draymond do something. Draymond gets an easy pass to Buddy, open 3. I didn't feel like this was a good Julius Randle game, and I had given him so much love for how he's played, mistake-free, played composed. I thought there were times he was forcing the issue tonight. And one thing with this series that we'll look at is just how he deals with the different matchups. It's a little different going up against Draymond or Looney or Jimmy Butler when last series you're taking on Rui. Like I felt like, Randle had the ability to overpower guys a little more against the Lakers, especially with their lack of rim protection, where Golden State has some pretty strong dudes. So it's tough to play the bully ball situation and tough to, just power through guys all the way to the basket. Minnesota will play better, and Minnesota is not going to have a game. I think, again, where we see him shoot 5 of 29, although they didn't shoot well in that clincher at LA when they won that game. They just have to create better looks. I thought Anthony Edwards, obviously, he got off to an awful start of this game. He was, in the first half, 1.0 for 8 shooting. Second half, 22 points, 9 for 14. He also had 7 rebounds in the second half of this game. He ends up with 23 points and 14 rebounds in 42 minutes of work. But, he's just got to set the tone a little better, too. And he's having some challenges finishing around the rim. Well, Golden State, they're very good about their verticality at the rim, too. And it's hard when you're driving on Butler and Draymond's going to come help off Gobert, and he's going to make sure to contest. So Edwards has to make some better decisions, but I thought you saw some better stuff from him in the second half. I just think from Minnesota's perspective, you got to be kicking yourself with how you played in this game one. Like the approaches has to be way better. The focus has to be way better. You can live through, and I think that the good example of this is what happened when you played well in the fourth quarter. It's like you knock down shots. You're playing some better defense. You got to be locked in defensively, number one. And then you can work out plus your defense is going to create good offense too. So I think Minnesota will be fine, but this is just a really, really ugly game, especially against a Warriors team that lost Steph. And now for Golden State, no Steph. How long is it going to be? I think they're going to have trouble scoring. Like, no shit. Obviously, this changes a lot of things for the Golden State Warriors. How are they going to respond from this? They got a good test to go through it for a good chunk of a game. What type of game plan do they go in game 2? It's obviously a must-win for Minnesota. You don't go down 0-2 at home to a team that's not going to have Steph Curry. Let me know what you thought about what we witnessed in game 1 tonight. Make sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe.
Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. They tell you what they know. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. Deuce and Mo. The podcast that you know.